It's been less than a week since the Viking Sky was powerless, adrift off of the coast of Norway, and scrambled for hours to try to get crew and passenger to safety. The crew members worked to get passengers off the ship by helicopter airlift, and then eventually got power restored and took the ship back into port. It left everybody asking the question, what went wrong? Why did this happen? There's finally some answers. We'll talk about it right after this. Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with La Lita Loca, and this is an update on the Viking Sky. Let's just go back to last Saturday. The images that were coming off the coast of Norway, super scary. You have a cruise ship with no power, listing from side to side, and reports on board saying we don't know what we're going to do. We watched the drama unfold for most of the day. We saw that evacuations by helicopter initiated. That looked super scary. They were harnessing 2 people up at a time and pulling them up into a helicopter. There was like 1,400 people on board, and they got about half of them off before they called it off. They finally got the engines underway, and they were able to get everybody safely back to port. They evacuated, I believe, about 480 people, and then they got the rest of the folks back on the ship. All in all, very traumatic experience, but only 20 injuries. Fortunately, from a physical injury perspective, it was very minimal. But just as an observer, I tell you, the mental wear and tear on cruisers is probably big thinking about this story. You have a power outage, you have a listing situation, and super scary. This story's taken an interesting trajectory. Shortly after the incident, there was some speculation as to whether or not the captain should have cruised into this weather, maybe starting to point at human error. The Norwegian Maritime Organization launched an investigation. That is the governing maritime body there in Norway, and they have come back with their findings. The head of the Norwegian Maritime Organization, Lars Alvstad, released a statement of his findings, and basically what he's saying is that the oil supply to the engines was disrupted, and it caused the engines to shut off. Computer turned the engines off so that the engines wouldn't burn out because of lack of oil. This is a quote from Lars Alvstad. The heavy seas probably caused movements in the tank so large that the supply to the lubricating oil pump stopped. This triggered an alarm indicating a low level of lubrication oil, which in turn shortly thereafter caused an automatic shutdown of the engines. He goes on to say that this automated shutdown essentially caused a blackout of power on the cruise ship. Viking Cruises has accepted the report that was submitted by the Norwegian Maritime Association, and they are currently checking their other cruise ships to make sure that this problem doesn't repeat itself. Just a brief history of Viking Cruise Lines. Viking originally started in 1997 as a river cruise line, and then they got into ocean cruising in 2015. As of late 2018, they have 62 river cruising vessels and 6 ocean liner vessels. I don't know what else is left to say. It's kind of scary as a cruiser. I'm worried about power outages a little bit. I'm worried about listing. There's enough evidence to say that those happen from time to time. Most of the people don't experience that, but when you do, it's going to be completely scary. It freaks me out a little bit that just not being able to get oil from the oil reserve to the engine was something that would shut the whole system down and take a long time to get back up. So hopefully that design is going to be looked at, and like Viking said, based on the findings, that they're already proactively trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again on other cruise ships. Look, in '89, I blew up my Datsun B210 because I didn't keep oil in it. I never thought that would happen on a cruise ship. So how you guys doing out there? Do these kind of stories dissuade you from cruising? We've only been cruising for a couple years. There are a list of things that kind of scare me, events that I don't really want to happen to me. I made a video about that called Scary Moments on a Cruise Ship. I will link that above and in the description below. This is Tony for La Lita Loca. If you like cruise ships, cruise news, cruise tips, anything cruising, please consider subscribing. If the information was helpful, leave us a thumbs up. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.